All right, welcome to the Bean Apple, the Week 8 already NFL preview show for the Jets, the Giants, the Patriots. Some exciting games coming up, probably for bettors more than actual fans. But regardless, we're going to talk about what you need to know, what you should be looking for, and what to be pissed off about. Because I think all three of us have got a little bit of all of those things on our team right now. Me more so than others, but that's yeah, we'll get into that. So,
Hmm.
John, Jim, thank you for joining us on the show and doing our thing. We finally got the trio together, two shows in a
Hmm.
row. So we're back. We're back on top. So before
Yeah.
we go into this, please call in today. Let's talk about some football. Let's talk about what's on your mind. Also, please click that subscribe button. Check out our YouTube site if you're watching on Facebook or anything else, and uh, subscribe, like, comment, and let's get going. So, first off, let's uh let's talk about my New York Jets.
Everybody's favorite.
Everyone's favorite. So, I wanted to, like we talked about in the green room, I got a little bit I want to get off my chest cuz all of these so-called, and I'm going to use air quotations because now people can actually see
Mm.
quotations. That's kind of nice. Uh,
Yeah.
so all these so-called experts out there telling Trevor Lawrence he needs to go back to school for another year, right? And Stephen A. Smith just came out today, and God, I hope he watches this and it goes viral because you are a fucking idiot. Like I'm so sick of his loud mouth just up there, just talking louder than everybody else, which makes him somehow right. I don't understand how that works. But why do people not understand that the best quarterback in college goes number one to the worst team in football? It's just the way it works. You don't just go back to school and then the Steelers are going to draft you next year. It's or it doesn't make any sense to me. Every year, when Peyton Manning was drafted, the Colts sucked. Baker Mayfield went number one. The Browns sucked. They still kind of do, but uh, Andrew Luck went, also number one when the
Hmm.
Colts were terrible. Every team that's bad needs a quarterback. You need that cornerstone to build around. And to think that somehow he's going to go back to college next year and just get drafted by the Ravens or the Seahawks or somebody that's really good into a good organization, he could do that if he plays like shit next year and gets drafted in the sixth round by somebody that's looking for a backup quarterback. Maybe that's what he wants. No money backing up Russell Wilson for the next, whole career because Russell Wilson's not going anywhere. So
Hmm.
all of these experts out there that are telling this kid to go back to school again and not, and all this, it's shut up. Shut up. This kid's about to be a multimillionaire. He's going to be a cornerstone for whatever franchise, for the Jets, for the Giants, for the Patriots, whoever, the Jaguars, uh, the Falcons, whatever it is. All those teams suck.
Hmm.
And, the Patriots, we'll see. But right now they're sucking. But if
Hmm.
you end up with a top five pick, it's because your team is bad. There's still going to be bad teams next year. So if he goes back, he gets drafted by the Jaguars next year. Congratulations. Now you're playing in Jacksonville. What's the difference? You just lost a year of millions of dollars. That's what the difference is. So stop advising this kid to go back to school for another year. He's not going to get into a perfect situation coming out. He's going to have to be the person who makes that team better. That's what franchise caliber quarterbacks do. They make the team and the franchise better by being that cornerstone, by being that person that everything is built around. So Sam, as we talked about last week, is clearly not that person with his one completion for 4 yards in the second half. You're not really building much around him. And I know the team sucks, and I know there's turmoil in the franchise. It's a disaster, but I've spoken on it each week. Gase is going to be gone. We've got a lot of money to spend. You've got a lot of draft capital coming in the next couple years. The pieces are in place. Just because everything sucks right now is not an indication of what is to come. Like the writing on the wall is that there's some things happening, right? You're going to have a coach that hopefully knows what he's doing after Gase. I hope, right? I mean, we did hire Gase, so God knows. But logic would dictate that the next coach you would bring in has to be better. Has to be, right? It's if you don't win a game, you can't get any worse. So somebody's got to come in and do the bar is very low. So you bring Trevor Lawrence in and you start building. Stop with this go back to Clemson for another year stuff. What if there's no football next year? What if the pandemic, which is rising again, shuts everything down for an entire year? Then he doesn't play football all next year, and then he thinks he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Like how do you do that if you sit out an entire year? You know what I mean? What is that? How does that affect? You don't take that chance. You just don't. You don't take the chance. You come out. Stop advising this kid wrong. You're not smart. You just fucking talk a lot, and you talk really loud over everybody else. I don't know how anybody's on that show with Stephen A. Smith. He's the most annoying person on the planet. Just shut up and just talk about the Cowboys. That's the only thing you could do is talk about the Cowboys, because it's really easy, because everything goes wrong for the Cowboys as well. So with that, now I feel a lot better.
See, John. Go ahead, John.
So first
Tell me
off,
I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Stephen A., if you're watching, bring me on your show. I'm much better than Max Kellerman. Okay, I'm going to agree with you that Tom Brady still is really good, and I'm going to agree with you that Trevor Lawrence should stay in school if the Jets get the number 1 pick. And here's why, Joe. I get how it works. The worst team gets the number 1 pick. But when was the last time the Jets have made a good decision? Okay.
Well,
Enough said. You don't even, because that should have just rolled. Okay. We can't talk
time.
about anything this year. Can't talk about anything last year. So, I mean, there's a pattern of distress here, Joseph. And that distress is the Jets owner doesn't know how to own a team. He's hiring the wrong people to manage his team. It happens, and I get it. But, okay, so there is no college football next year. Then there probably won't be any pro football either. And I guarantee you, even if there is pro football next year and no college, Trevor Lawrence would still be the first pick the following year. I mean, he would have to be, because he's the one that you know. He's the one that has proven his worth in college. So should he stay in school? I'm kind of joking a little bit. It'd be hard for me to pass up that money. But these players also get insurance for stuff like this too. So they're going to make millions one way or another. If they blow their leg out, they don't get whatever happens to him. He's probably insured for millions already. So that's money probably. It's just a matter of time. I don't know his family background with finances, but now I'm going to have to look him up, because I'm curious if he's able to just chill and sit back, because he may be able to. He may not be financially strapped like a lot of these college students are. But I mean, honestly, Joe, if they don't fire Gase, though, before the season's end, and this is why they need to, Joe, because if they go with Gase the whole year, and I don't know when college students have to determine when they're going to go pro, if they're going to stay in college, when that commitment is. I have no idea.
Well, it's usually after the championship game in January is when they start announcing.
Right, but this year may be different too. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but what I would do is fire Gase now. Let this kid know that we want to change, because right now Gase is kind of the laughing stock of the NFL. He has been for the last couple of years. So if you don't fire him, or you wait till the NFL season, which their season will be what, December 29th or something like that, December 30th, I think, is the last regular season game, I believe. So get rid of him now. Get rid of him now to show Lawrence and to show everyone else that the Jets do want to get better, because what's he going to? Yeah, they've had picks for years, and they've sucked with them. Or they let him go. I mean, look at Jamal Adams. You know what I mean? It's just like these guys just, I mean, they push away good players, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, if I was number 1, I'd be petrified. I'd feel better going to Jacksonville. I would. Right. They draft good players. They play well. They just never pay them.
Right. Nobody wants to come here. That's the bottom line. I mean, so you're right. If Gase is there to make the pick, and the kid is there to be picked, does he pick him? Does he pick him?
I mean
you don't even know that's a guarantee. There's no guarantee that that's the way he goes.
Well, it's not his. It's going to be Joe Douglas who makes the pick, and Joe Douglas was hired. Yeah, Joe Douglas was hired after Sam Darnold was picked. Yeah, so he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that investment in Sam Darnold. If it's, I mean,
so then they should put Darnold up on a block.
They should
trade him now,
Absolutely.
And let the kids see it's you. It's you.
Yeah.
That's how you could maybe win some points with him. Or maybe the kid wants the diploma. Maybe no one in his family's a college graduate, and he's looking for that piece of paper to hang on a wall.
You're thinking of Jets quarterbacks for high school play. That's all. I mean, I get how you got it.
No, he's so. Like I said, I don't know. I don't have any inside track with the Jets or anything. Just logic would dictate if you go winless, you're fired, right? I mean,
you would think
what coach is going to survive that? Nobody. Joe Douglas came in after Gase was already hired as well, so he's not. Joe Douglas didn't bring Gase in. Joe Douglas did not bring Sam Darnold in. He's going to clean house. This is his project. He's doing the rebuild. He has to. Right. And especially if you win no games, you can't keep going down this path. Right. So it's going to be his job just as fast if he keeps Gase around. He can't do it. So now you have the opportunity to bring in the coach you want. You have the opportunity to pick the quarterback that you want, number one. And then, like I said, you've got the Seahawks pick. You've got an early pick in the second round. And he's still trading for more draft capital for the next 2 years. So a lot of draft picks coming up. A lot of money to spend. And like you said, you're going to have to overspend to get some players in here, but he needs to make those right choices to bring in a couple of key players to help turn this thing around without overspending for everybody or paying Levy and Bell $56 million or whatever it was to come in here, and do nothing. So he's going to have to be very precise on who he targets. But they've got the money. He's going to overhaul the franchise. He has to, or else he's going to get fired as well. And, he signed a 6-year contract to turn this thing around. So it gave him enough time to do some stuff. And I can't see a winless season and he just sits back and lets it continue to happen. It doesn't make sense. This is going to be his opportunity to turn things around with the first pick, with a new coach. And, you're probably going to trade Darnold for something so that they'll get some more draft capital out of that as well. I don't know what it'll be, but it makes sense. Logically, it makes sense. Will it happen? I don't know, but I mean,
probably not. Cleaning house is one thing, but you got to get people back for it. You can't just send people to KC and pay for them.
Right.
Like they did Bell. You got to get some guys. That's not going to show the kid Lawrence that you're going to be committed to winning or trying to win at least. Cleaning house is one thing, but you better be stockpiling. And what happens if we get to week 13 or 14 and it just lock in that first pick and Lawrence says, I'll never play for the Jets, like Eli did. And then what?
Then you trade.
Eli did it, and then they have to work out a trade or a deal or something.
Yeah. If he's not going to come here, you're still going to get a king's ransom in draft picks for whoever's going to come up.
Or he sits out a year. Yep. Or he sits out a year and goes back in the draft, but chances are he'd probably get picked by the Jets again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but he would.
It's most likely true, right? Like, what would you do in that? If you end up with the first pick in the draft and he doesn't come out, who do you take? I mean,
well, you obviously want. I don't know. I look at how San Francisco has built their team. What have they drafted? They went after defensive linemen for years, offensive linemen for years. I mean, look at that team right now. One of us three could go be their running back, and we're going to average 5 yards a carry. So what did they do? They built an O-line. They built a D-line and paid for a quarterback. Now, was Jimmy G that great? I mean, he went to the Super Bowl last year. He must be okay. Granted, the defense was great. But, I mean, let's face it. I mean, building a quarter it's kind of like when Joe Burrow was taken first. Yes, was he probably the best player in the draft? Probably. But here's the thing. They paid for an O-line in Cincy. It's just not working out there. They paid Joe Mixon. They paid A.J. Green. There was already pieces there.
There's some stuff, yeah.
Right, for him to go in. And, I mean, he's not having bad games, maybe accuracy-wise. But, honestly, if you're a quarterback going to the Jets, who do you have? You don't even have a good O-line. You just don't right now. You don't have you have a 49-year-old running back with Gore, and granted your boy played the other night. But still, I mean, they get no receivers. If they're going to clear house, they're probably going to not pay Crowder. So Crowder's going to be gone. The tight end hasn't done anything.
He's still under contract. So
is he okay? But I mean, they still may trade him. I mean, I don't see him paying him money.
No, I think they'll let him ride his contract. But you made a good point there with Joe Burrow. Is the Bengals have been bad for a long time. Very bad. Like at least
they've been 500. They've been a 500 team. You know, that's how Marvin Lewis kept his job forever.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they always won 9 games.
Right.
And then when they
go
go
to
the playoffs,
game in there once in a while too.
Right. But they never won a playoff game. Big Marv couldn't win a playoff game.
But look at them the last number of years. They've been terrible. And
the last 2. Andy Dalton got hurt last year. So that kind of propelled that quarterback carousel there for the whole year, and that's how they fell on number 1. But I mean, since he's paid a lot of money.
Joe Burrow wasn't sitting there going, "Oh, since he's got the number 1 pick and they suck, so I'm just going to go back to school." Like if you're coming out at the top, and like you said, like Chase Young was the consensus best player coming out.
True.
But a quarterback is the cornerstone of a team. So if you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't matter if you could rush the passer. It's the same thing I said in about the Jets going into the draft, and I've told you, I don't give a shit if Sam Darnold could stand back there with Mekhi Becton protecting his blind side. He has nobody to throw the ball to. So you could only hold the ball for so long before they get around your offensive line. Right. They should have drafted CeeDee Lamb in the first round. Mm-hmm. At least, what did he have? Like half a second less to throw the ball, but he'll have a receiver that could potentially be open most of the time because Lamb is that good. But drafting is bad. But he said he was going to try and fix the O-line. That was his priority for year 1. He made a lot of moves. Not a lot of them are paying off, so I don't know what it's going to be. But I can't see how, if you are the best player in college coming out and you have the potential to make double-digit, what is the first round, the first overall pick make? Like $8 million a year or something like that?
Well, yeah, but and then the signing bonus is astronomical, and it's paid right then.
Yeah, so you're going to get. How do you pass up that money?
Well, and that's why I don't think he would. Plus, his agent's going to market him in New York. He'll be on every billboard. Now, will he ever be a good NFL quarterback? I don't know, but he's going to make a lot of money. Yeah. They're going to market the shit out of him.
Where are you going to get more marketing? New York City or Jacksonville, Florida? I
agree. You
know what I mean?
Sure. So, right. It's going to depend on, is it about the money or is it about having a chance to win? Right. Is it about having a competitive team? Yeah. For me, I think I would take less money to play meaningful games. And that's what it's going to boil down to. And if that means sit out, if that means get right. But even if you're as a backup in the year 1 on a competitive team and you're part of something that you grow into the starting role, I think it's about, do you want to be on a winning team or not? Because you think about the next 5 years for the Jets. Are the Jets going to be 500 in 5 years? What is 5 years even going to look like?
Right.
So how hard is it to suit up as a player? I don't care what sport you're in, and you are going to lose 80% of the time. It gets to be like, the workouts, the all the work you do off season, pregame. I think it wears on you, and you want to have that chance to win.
Yeah, but the only way,
even if it means less,
the only way he's going to do that is if he sucks for the rest of the year and falls out of the top spot, which is going to cost him millions and millions of dollars just to sit behind somebody else that's good.
He could throw 40 interceptions the last whatever weeks of football. He's still going number 1. He's still going number 1.
Probably. So,
there's no way he's not. There's no way he's not.
Because a team that's bad needs that cornerstone. Whoever it is, It just is. So,
or maybe it's another team trades with the Jets to get him that has a better base, a better foundation for the kid to come right into, and they throw Jets some picks. Maybe who's that team up there in New England? Oh my God, that would be sick. Belichick swoops in. Actually, we talked about the last game of the year, New England Jets, and if it's close and the Pats lay down, Jets get a win.
I can't even imagine what New England would offer the Jets to get that pick. Like what they, you know what I mean? Because it would have to be like the first round pick for the next 10 years.
Lockets of Tom Brady's hair, some of his old cleats.
Yeah, but no, there's no what team is in that position that needs a quarterback that's good? There's nobody. Everybody that's good has a
Dallas.
I
They're
mean,
gonna stick with that.
Atlanta has
It-
pieces, but
yeah.
right? Atlanta's got pieces. Dallas needs a. I mean, you think Prescott's coming back next year, but
Yeah.
I mean, there were some
Yeah.
teams that can plug the kid in and probably, maybe they get to 500 in year one.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
Well, if he's as good as
Detroit,
advertised,
Detroit, Stafford, how much longer is he playing? I don't know.
True.
yeah, I mean, but every year they're picking in the top 10 every year as well. So there's nobody that's like, Dallas would make sense, but they would, to get all that, they'd have to give up all their draft picks for the next couple of years.
Would that surprise you from Jerry Jones?
It wouldn't. It
No.
wouldn't.
No, because he'll
wouldn't
just
at
keep
all.
spending money. It doesn't matter. He doesn't
Yeah.
need draft picks.
He throws in CeeDee Lamb, and you're going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'll take
CeeDee
it.
Lamb and your next 3 first-round picks. Yeah,
There you
I'll
go.
take
Oh, now you're okay. Now you're okay. Look, he's smiling. Look, he's happy now. He's happy now. I said CeeDee Lamb. That's all.
Yeah, but
he needs.
shit, then you're drafting 25 every year, 25 and above every year.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's like
Thanks,
Seattle's first pick next year. I mean, it's going to be 27 plus. You know, it's just going to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, luckily, my Cardinals were able to knock them off there, and that's a good first step to moving them down the draft order. Hopefully, we can keep that going. But
Who are the Jets
All right.
playing this week? Are they
So, yeah,
playing New York
20
City Catholic high school,
and they're still going to lose.
or is it middle school?
Oh my God!
Sorry.
What is it? It opened up at 22 points. I think it's down to 19 now. But
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, so we'll talk about it. Let's dive into it real quick.
Yeah.
It's currently at 19.5 for the
Ooh.
Chiefs game. So some money, I guess, is going on the Jets.
Who's
I guess
taking that?
I don't know. I mean, 19.5. That's
It's
a
in
lot,
KC
but
also, right? It's in
in
KC.
KC.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. I don't know. Maybe the weather's supposed to be bad. And
You better hope
maybe
for
that's gonna
something.
slow-
better
KC
hope
just
for
played in the snow in Denver, right? And what'd they win?
Yeah.
33-6 or something?
Maybe
Whoa,
what
that was the Pats game, man. Let's
Oh,
just slow
sorry.
down there. Let's slow down there.
maybe what they're thinking is the game will be over by halftime, and it'll be the backups in, and then the Jets will just score garbage time and lose by like 18.
Right.
17, 18.
Right.
So, I mean, you're not going to leave Mahomes in this game very long.
No.
If you have
No, why
Mahomes
would
on your
you?
fantasy team,
No.
probably put somebody else in because he'll probably be done at the half.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he's going to throw 5 touchdowns in the first half. And I have Mahomes in our league,
No,
so I will
it's-
be playing him
Oh,
because
that's
he
right.
should have quite a few touchdowns in the
That's
first half.
right.
These guys are going to fall down at the 1 yard line and give it to Le'Veon Bell 5 times.
Shit,
Yeah.
Bell
Oh,
is
that's what they
playing,
should do.
isn't he?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I forgot
gonna
about
light it
that.
up.
Oh,
gonna light
it's
it
going to
up.
be. He's going to score some
Ooh.
touchdowns. So,
Well,
all right, so let's talk about some key players here. George Fant, Frank Gore, Darnold, Ficken, all questionable for this game. So we did sign that kicker who looked pretty good last week.
so Darnold's questionable?
Good. Says he's questionable. Yep.
What, shoulder again?
Oh, boy.
I imagine he's going to be like the Brady injury all year and just carry that question.
Sore Fladuba.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
that's
see.
good.
So Sam's got a lot of pressure on him. I'm going to be very interested to see how he responds to this. I mean, especially like we talked about with his one completion for 4 yards in the whole second half.
Can only
If he
go up.
wants to show that, if he wants to show this is his team, he's got to do something. He's got to step up. So the pressure is very bright. The spotlight's bright on him right now. He needs to step up in this game and show something. Either show that he is a franchise quarterback or show that he's worth some draft picks to go start for another team. Because right now he's most likely playing for a starting job somewhere else. So he's got to step it up and show something. I'm excited to see what P. Ryan does. I don't know what Crowder's status is. He's questionable. It's not looking good. I don't know if he's going to play. If he doesn't play, Perriman is still in concussion protocol, I believe. So that's not good either. So you're going to have Mims as your starting, as your number one wide receiver in his second game is not good. Chris Herndon
Mm-mm.
just fell off the face of the earth. He should have been Gronk 2.0 for this team, just
Mhm.
peppered. He's huge, he's fast, and he's not doing anything. It's disgusting. Maybe
But
this
is
is
it
when
him?
I don't know. I
Is
don't
it
know.
him?
I
We
mean,
don't know. We don't.
well, watching games, he's dropped a lot of passes that were right off his hands, just
Mhm.
dropping them. So I think
Uh,
probably staying away from him because he can't catch a ball for some reason. So um, yeah, we'll have to see what it is. Gase isn't going to call the offense this week, so
Oh.
I don't know. I think he's permanently given that gig up. Thank God. So we'll see. We'll see what Mims can do. That so the bright spots are going to be hopefully, P Ryan out touches Gore, so we could see what this kid gets. Give him 20 plus carries. See if he can actually, maintain that. See if he improves with the carries. Uh, see what Mims can do in a start, in week 2 of his career. Uh, if he could step up, do some stuff. He looked pretty good from the couple plays, couple catches. He looks fast. He looks crisp. So hopefully he's fully healthy. The hamstrings don't pop, and he's good to go. But outside of that, I mean, this is going to be bad. Uh, Hopefully the Jets could score 15 points and get over the 100 point mark in week 8 because they are at 85 points scored as an offense. So hopefully we can get into the triple digits, which is disgusting. I don't even know if there's another team under that. So yeah, it looks like
Hope is not a plan, Joe. Hope is not a
That's
plan.
right.
the
Right.
next worst team is the New England Patriots at 115 points scored.
Wow.
So yeah,
Can you
115.
imagine that trip to KC? I
Uh,
mean, everyone's just like, oh, my God, we're going to get a head handed to us. I mean, I'd really like to see the camera pregame when they're all jumping and what are they chanting? I mean, barbecue after the game. I mean, what are ribs? Bottomless ribs across the street. I mean, there's no way. What can you possibly be thinking?
they're in there.
You
All right,
3 touchdown
play your heart out.
underdogs.
Play your heart out. Get traded on
That's
3.
right.
1, 2, 3. Get
Yes,
traded.
that's right. Show the world that you could play somewhere else. Oh my
Right.
God! I
Little
mean,
Caesars for everybody if we cover the spread.
yeah,
All
right. We're getting
right.
barbecue. That's what it's going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. How can you get excited about
You can't.
taking the field? I mean,
No.
it's bad enough going out to your 8th game when you've lost 7, but now you're going to play the Super Bowl champs. You're 3 touchdown underdogs. It's like, just come on.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Well, you got to go out and do your job so that
I guess it
there's
is a
not
job.
much, there's not much to get excited about. Like I said, I think for Jets fans is what you want to see is development from the young guys. So no, depending on what Crowder does, he could be heavily targeted in this one.
Mhm.
But I want to see what Mims got, and I want to see P. Ryan get 20 plus touches. I want to see if he gets better as the game goes, if he gets worse as the game goes, if he could carry that full workload, if he could take all those hits. I want to see what the kid's got. Because if
Yep.
not, now you're looking for a running back next year. Give the kid a chance. Frank
Let the
Gore,
kids play.
yeah. Frank Gore, mentor. Let P. Ryan run. Let Mims run. And let's see what we got. Hopefully Becton can play, stay healthy, get some more experience, and like I said, these guys you have to draft well to be competitive in the NFL. You can't do it through free agency. So if these guys don't pan out, then you've missed an entire year. And it's been happening to the Jets. It's been happening to the Giants. I mean, your guys' last couple first round picks are very questionable even at this point too. So
Mhm.
you miss on the first round, and it hurts.
Yeah.
You miss year after year.
Mhm.
It's not good. And then you're trading away your first round picks for early first round picks for late first round picks.
Mhm.
It's not a good trade off. It really
Right.
isn't. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Is hopefully we get to see the young guys start to develop, push through the year. I think Chiefs very easily, and I think they'll cover the spread just because they're too good. And this offense looks absolutely dead. Like you said, Jim, they're going to go in there just like, can this thing be over? Can we
Right.
can we forfeit? Do we have to play the game? Like,
Mhm. Right.
so it's going to be bad. There's going to be no energy, but we'll see. Yeah. So Kansas City, and they're going to cover the spread, and it's going to be embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Just keep running the ball, which means running the clock, right? Keep the clock
Absolutely.
going,
Yes.
right? I mean, and who knows? Maybe the Chiefs do the same thing. Just run the ball. Don't do anything crazy, and then all of a sudden, they don't cover the spread, or there's a turnover, or something crazy happens, right? It's a one-score game going into the fourth. What?
Well,
Joe has a better chance of hitting the lottery twice, Wednesday and Saturday, than the Jets being down by a touchdown.
And getting struck by lightning.
And getting struck by lightning and living to tell about it.
As I go to cash them in, drop dead.
You have a better chance of that happening, I think, than the Jets making it a 7-point game.
I think if you're Kansas City, and this is one of the largest point spreads in NFL history, they all know about it. They all know what the spread is. They're going to want to cover that spread. It.
So someone just chimed in from our listeners. Thank you, whoever this is. They said it's going to be a one-score game for the first 5 minutes of the game. Will get worse from there for the Jets. Couldn't agree more, Tyler. Couldn't agree more.
That sounds about right.
Spot on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I hate
if 5 minutes. I mean, let's face it. If 5 minutes. That's if the Jets get the ball first and somehow they manage a first down. That's the only way that's happening.
There'll probably be a bunch of idiots like they did last week and win the coin toss and take the ball. You don't take the ball. You always defer. Always. So you can try for that double dip.
Yeah.
No, that's regular
run back the opening kickoff.
Yeah. just like San Francisco did. Well, they didn't run it back, but the first play, Mozart ran an 80-yard touchdown immediately. So anyway, all right. So I think it's unanimous, right?
Cover the
spread. Oh, KC, the spread could be 25, and I'd still bet on Kansas City.
All right.
So Joe, taking later points.
Kansas City, and they've got the points. They'll cover. I wouldn't bet against it. All right. So let's roll into the second worst team in the division.
Wow. That's when was the last time you were able to say that?
Well, it felt good. After all that, it felt good.
Wow.
Here's what kind of hurts too. Like my brothers and I were going to travel up to Buffalo for this weekend's game and hopefully catch it in. I got a camper. I was going to bring my camper up. We were going to travel up to Buffalo, kind of hang out for a couple of days, watch the game, and come back Monday. So first off, that sucks that we can't do it. Second off, that sucks. We're 2-4. We haven't looked well the last couple games. We're playing a team that also, to me, hasn't looked good in the last 3-4 weeks, to be quite honest. They haven't looked the same they did the first 3 games. Tough time against the Jets last week. Again, they didn't score a touchdown last week. They had a really rough time against Kansas City, and then they played, who was it before KC? Was it Baltimore? No.
Denver?
No, it was a good team because I remember talking to a friend of mine in work, telling them that you need to beat somebody solid before you start saying.
Their last 3 is the 49ers, Broncos, Chiefs.
49ers, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. They got beat by San Francisco as well. So they haven't looked good in really 3 weeks. They really haven't. So we'll see. I'm hopefully optimistic, Joe, just like you. And I know hope is not a plan. But that's what we have to hope for. We have to hope Cam kind of comes back to his state that he was the first 3 games. Numbers aren't bad. One thing that scares me, and I didn't realize this, Cam Newton's leading the team in rushing right now, which is quite frightening. Considering he missed a game and he's not a running back. I know Sony Michel's still out. Damian Harris is hurt right now. He's banged up. Julian Edelman's banged up. So, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse like we said Monday, but what I hope we see is a James White, Rex Burkhead tandem, a lot of shotgun, a lot of no huddle, maybe keep Buffalo on their toes, they call it, with long cadences, some fake cadence that Peyton Manning used to do very, very well, not just for penalties, but just to kind of keep them thrown off, I don't know, try something, because Bill Belichick already said that Cam Newton will be the starter this week. So and going forward. So obviously he doesn't think that Stidham can handle it, and it's probably true. But we're getting to the point of the season. If we lose this week, we're 2-5. We need to know what we have for a quarterback next year. So,
let's. So we got a call waiting from Tyler Drake. Talk some Patriots stuff. Let's hear what he has to say. See if he agrees with you. Let's bring him on. All right. Tyler, are you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So I have to block my camera right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand, Tyler. How you doing, brother?
I pulled it up and I was like, oh shit! And run around. I was like, I gotta block this.
Gotcha. Yes.
So hey, been listening to you guys since the beginning. So
well, thank you.
And give John some support on this one, since you guys can't pick good teams to root for.
It is true.
So just to let everybody know, Tyler and I work together. We have since I've been there, last 3 years. Have always talked sports the whole time. We have a lot of fun at work, and I think if we worked the same shift all the time, we'd probably get in trouble for talking sports all day. So just a little history just a little history about me and Tyler. So Tyler, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you guys put it the other day, and John was saying, how do you act when your team's so shitty? Like, can you guys give us some advice on this? Because I remember the Patriots' first season. They went to the Super Bowl against the Rams. I remember the season before that. That was the first year I remember watching. I'm 29 years old, so put that in perspective. First seeing Bledsoe play. I used to watch Brady when he played for the Wolverines. I love the Wolverines college team. Watch come up. I don't understand what losing's like. What do you your hands? I don't understand this.
Yeah, so try and keep them down to your side. Try, is the best way, because if you let them out, they just start hitting everything out of pure anger. You just can't let your hands go. So always make sure that you're keeping track of where your hands are.
Yeah, you're not going to be using your hands for clapping a lot.
No. Like I said last week, I found myself doing projects around the house while I watched the game and coming back and just like shedding a tear. Like, nope, they're still losing.
Yeah.
Something else.
Like I told John, you're going to have a lot of free time to do yard work now on the weekends. Right?
Yard work.
You're going to have nothing to do on the weekends. And that goes for baseball season too. So
I gave up on the Red Sox.
Oh, look at that.
I like
there
it.
You go.
I like it.
There you go.
Period.
He already knows. Yeah. So Tyler, what do you see as being the Patriots' keys to victory this week, or what's going to actually help them propel to a W?
Buffalo needs to put all the starters on a single bus. That bus needs to crash. And that's how we win by like a field goal, in overtime.
Nice. That might be a plan.
Yeah, I mean, no, and quite honestly, I mean, Cam Newton hasn't looked himself since he came back from COVID. I think at this point in the season, and I think John alluded to this before too, or maybe it was me and him talking, is at this point, I think the Patriots need to just sit Cam. They know what they've got in Cam, what his upside, they know what his floor is. What do we got in Stidham? Is he somebody that we can rely on in the future, or do we make him look good, trade him for a third, fourth round pick plus a little extra later, draft for the future, and say, hey, Cam, we're going to sign you. You're going to teach the next guy, but we need to figure out what we got in value out of this people behind us. You're sitting for right now, and if shit gets out of hand, we'll put you in. That's what we need.
So you're thinking trade Stidham now and then tank for Lawrence? Is that what I heard?
Or let Stidham tank for us.
That's what would happen.
Because we know Cam could get another. Really, in the rest of the schedule for the rest of the year, I see us at best 6-10. With Cam, without Cam, we maybe hit 4 wins. So why not aim for 4 or less wins, get a better pick, sign Cam, keep him healthy for next year, get rid of Stidham, and get Lawrence.
Well, you're not going to get Lawrence with
Joe almost threw up at the end, I think.
No, I mean, I think if we try hard, we can let the Jets win. I mean, if we just like sit and like play with the grass, you guys could maybe.
I don't think so.
Oh, Tyler, I'm so glad you called in.
I don't see it happening. It might actually be a Lawrence Fields rivalry in the division, which could be fun. That could be fun. I think
yeah, you're right. I mean, that could be like a new kind of rivalry between the Jets and Pats. You know, if we drafted two,
that would be interesting. Or even, I mean, because you don't know that the Giants will probably be picking two, but they've got a quarterback that they need to figure out still. So they might not be, they might be taking an offensive lineman or wide receiver or something like that. And if you got the fourth pick, you could be picking in the top 5, and Fields might be there. He might be sitting there. That would be fun to watch for the next 10 years if they both hit. So
yeah, I think we need to really look at that and go, okay, is Fields going to fit? Like, if we don't tank for Trevor, do we look at Fields and go, will he fit our system? I think we definitely have a unique type of system in New England, so we got to really look and see who would fit, and what are we going to do to trade up if he doesn't? What are we going to get the pick from the Jets or get the pick from whoever else decides to tank this year? And then, if not, okay, maybe we just stick with what we got and we look at, maybe we can figure out how to draft a wide receiver finally, or, do something to help the offense out, because we got nothing. I mean, last year's draft did terrible. I mean, skills players, we all have skills players. We've never been good at that since before I started watching.
Yeah, it's all about schemes with Belichick, and that's what he's best at. So,
and what's Belichick's contract look like? How many more years has he got?
Life.
Yeah, it's probably life. Yeah,
I think he writes his own contract at this point.
Okay.
I mean, he's pretty much a GM too. You know what I mean? He runs the day-to-day operations. That's been his gig from the beginning, and it's worked well. And Tyler and Joe, like you guys said, the players he drafts for schemes. So the problem is he's hit a lot on these players. He truly has, even the free agent. I mean, I remember when they gave up a second for Welker, and I'm like, who the hell's Wes Welker?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they go ahead. And then they turned Julian Edelman into Wes Welker Jr., and everybody thought it was crazy to let Welker go. He goes to Denver, falls Peyton Manning, and then Welker was done. He fell off the planet. So, I mean, he's judged this talent for a long time. It's just now what's happening is we lost Brady in a year. I mean, again, we lost players from COVID, but whatever. And we have no weapons because he's kind of probably gotten super cocky after 20 years of just ruling the NFL, grabbing these
he makes
shots in the dark of players that everyone's like, hey, why the hell would you draft Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski, who has back and knee problems at Arizona? And I mean, barring Hernandez not turning into a fucking murderer and druggie, you know what I mean?
He was one before we drafted him. Come on now.
True. He was already doing that. But, I mean, I remember when they both signed 5-year, $40 million contracts, and I'm like, we're set for the next 5 years, and Hernandez was more of a wide receiver. I mean, we struck gold, and then like last year, Tyler, we drafted 2 tight ends, and have you seen them yet?
No, they can't catch. They can't
catch for shit.
And I look just to see, obviously you've known Belichick, even the quarterbacks non-Brady, they've all had some level of success. Defense players, we always seem to strike gold, and these random people. I was looking, so N'Keal Harry's been a big topic for everybody. Like, what has he done? He's a big guy. So I was looking at it. That year we drafted him. So after N'Keal Harry, just in the first 2 rounds, Deebo Samuel went. You guys have heard of him. Then we drafted some cornerback that we've never started. And then A.J. Brown, Nicole Hardman, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Paris Campbell, Andy Isabella, and then D.K. Metcalf. All those guys I would take over Harry any day right now. I mean, Campbell and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, okay, maybe not as much, but Andy Isabella, if the wide receiver group was thinner, he'd be a beast on a team. I mean, why can't we find these guys? What? I was looking at stats. I mean, even DK Metcalf's, his entire combine was better than N'Keal Harry. Why did we go Harry? They're the same size.
Well, Harry
and that Metcalf was better.
Well, being an ASU fan, like I watched a lot of those games, and Harry was unstoppable in those games. I mean, you threw it up, he was coming down with it. He was breaking tackles, beating everybody. So, not surprised by that. I was surprised that DK Metcalf fell as far as he did, and Hollywood Brown as well.
Yeah,
those 3 should have been 1, 2, 3 coming out of the draft. in some form or fashion. I don't know how it ended up the way it did, but Seattle struck gold.
Oh yeah,
Taking DK.
They sure did, boy.
I mean that tackle. I'm sure you guys watched the game. That how he tracked down Buda Baker and stopped that pick six. It was like watching me running against like a track star. It was ridiculous. It was just like, he could have ran in front of him, turned around, and tackled him from the front before he scored a touchdown. That's how fast he was going.
He looked like that guy, Mr. Freeze. You ever see that guy that runs in the outfield for baseball? He gives the guy a big head start, and he laps him. That's what he looked like running. Man, that was something.
He looks so fast because he's a huge dude. He's not. It's what 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds. He's
and he's running like every kill.
So I heard a interview with Pete Carroll today, and they were talking about that, and he was like, first off, because I guess it was a caller right before him, kind of defending Seattle's loss against Arizona, and then Pete Carroll goes, "That was by far one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in my life." Because it did two things. A, it kind of lifted the team up a little bit, showing, hey, now it's my turn to make that kind of play for this team.
Yeah.
You know, a wide receiver just did it. We need to stop playing some D. And two, I mean, it saved a pick six, and they didn't even score on that play.
Right, they went 4 and out.
I mean, on that drive. So, I mean, all out talent. But I mean, I could watch that video over and over. It never gets old.
Buda Baker couldn't believe it. He was on the sideline saying, "How the hell did he catch me? He thought he was gone." He's like, "Wait, who is this guy?" Right?
He's a trip like Daniel Jones.
Right. Yeah, I know that. Well, yeah, Daniel Jones isn't used to running 80 yards.
Right. Or straight, apparently.
No.
Here we go. Come on. Stop it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're right, he's not. But you still shouldn't fall down after. I don't know. Maybe there's a ghost on the field and trip him.
That's right.
Yeah, it's that turf. But yeah. All right.
That
So
damn AstroTurf.
So,
he was
Tyler,
running faster than what's his name? Lamar has all year. He ran 21 miles an hour. He can't run that fast. That's why he was his feet couldn't keep up. It's like in the cartoons where you do this, you take off.
Too funny.
Yeah, except for the Roadrunner doesn't just fall down.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Crazy.
all right. So, Tyler, who do you got? You got any chance the Patriots win this game?
All honesty, no. I think Buffalo comes in, or we go to Buffalo, and Buffalo they're mad. They, after last week, they played better. They're going to come into this game and they're going to prove something. I went to the game against Buffalo last year when they went to New England. I think they have something to prove now with Brady gone. They're going to go in and just destroy the Pats. I'm thinking it's going to be like a 42-20. I mean, it's going to be double score on it. There's
Okay, so asking you if the 3.5 points.
They're going to blow that. Like this, it's not even going to be funny. We score in the fourth quarter because they pull their starters. That's how it's
right.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Tyler, I unfortunately agree with you. Of course, our hearts are with the Patriots, but the fact that I'm only up, how many games now, Tyler, on you? 4 or 5 in our pick?
What's that? Out on you, John.
I can't remember that stretch is kind of getting too big to count. But I mean, I'm going to pick Buffalo in my pick 'em, but I'm kind of with Tyler right now. I don't see the Patriots doing much offensively. I hope I'm really wrong. In a 3.5 point spread, the only thing I can think of is because of last week how they looked against the Jets. That's the only thing I can think of. But other than that, I don't see us playing very well. I mean, again, who's our playmaker this week? Who's it going to be? I still can't find one. Still can't. And Edelman's listed as questionable right now, and he's probably wanting to get traded. That's why. You know what I mean?
I think
our
probably playmaker is going to be Josh Allen fumbling for us at least once or twice.
Right. Gilmore, McCourty running back a pick 6 or something, or J.C. Jackson or somebody like that.
Nice. All right. Well, Tyler, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Definitely.
So hey, Tyler, real quick. So Brady versus the Giants. What are you doing?
Oh, Brady's gonna crush you guys.
Oh, come on.
You don't even have a chance. Like
you don't really believe that, do you?
We'll do some yard work, buddy. It'll be better.
Nice.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, Tyler. Take
All right,
it
thank
easy.
you.
Very good.
Have a good night, Tyler. Thank you.
Like,
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, you
he
got
doesn't
some
think
yard
the
work to
Giants
do.
have a chance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look. I hate to say it. We're all going to be doing yard work at some time on Sunday, but Jim just gets to do it Monday night at between the hours of 8:20 and
It's gonna be out there
11:30.
with a headlamp breaking leaves.
Yeah.
This game's not
Pissed
worth
off,
it.
breaking leaves.
Yeah.
Those damn Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, so
Unbelievable.
quickly for me on the Patriots side, I think I'm going to hold out hope for a N'Keal Harry breakout game. I'm going to keep holding out hope for that. It's got to come some point. But I think what's going to be the key if the Patriots are going to win this game, and I kind of talked about it last time, was the running game. Cam's got to run again, and he's got to use James White and Rex Burkhead and let them do some stuff with their legs and break things up and open up some passes down the field. If he's running, if he's dumping off to White and Burkhead, you've seen Bill use that to perfection over the years, picking up 15, 20-yard chunks, and then Brady just dropping stuff into Edelman or whoever it is that's opening up because the linebackers start cheating in. So if Bill's smart enough to scheme correctly, he knows the Bills, it's a division game. So I think the 3.5 points is probably closer than what it is if they scheme correctly and if Cam actually runs the ball. So, but still Bills win. Bills win. So.
Bills win. Absolutely. I'm with you.
Yep.
Yeah, but Joe, here's the thing. I mean, the one thing any defense can do, and I think the Bills defense will do it this Sunday, is contain Cam, because he's not going to beat you any other way. So you take out, the leading rusher of the Patriots, which is Cam Newton, and so Michelle's not there.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, they're gonna fill the box, man. Yeah, but we can't. That's the problem. There's nobody to dump off to.
James White and Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, they didn't listen to me last week through the TV. I don't think they'll listen to me again this week.
Get closer to the screen.
I'm gonna start screaming at them.
Bill. Yeah. All right.
Come on.
So let's round it out with the Monday night game, and it if the Giants have a
Monday
chance,
Night Massacre,
it will be the new Monday Night Miracle. But let's talk about the Giants and Tampa Bay. We've been waiting for this game for a long time, right? Talked about this in the preseason, and there was a guarantee.
Oh yeah, that was like that was probably show number 3. I got to go back and look in the archives.
Yeah,
and see when that was, because it was probably when did we start doing this? July maybe. So it was probably mid-July or something.
Early preseason.
Yep, and I said, "There's no way Brady's coming into the Meadowlands and beating the Giants." And I mean, so he sees this jersey in his nightmares, right? Everybody knows. I mean, when he goes to sleep at night, this is the jersey he sees. And from what I understand, the Giants are wearing their throwback jerseys for the game just to get in his head a little bit, because we know what happens. It's his kryptonite. It's his kryptonite, right? He knows it. I know it. Everybody knows it. John, you know it too.
Only during Super Bowls and only when Eli Manning is wearing that.
Well,
uniform. So here's a couple things that we don't have to worry about. First off, the Giants playing in a Super Bowl anytime soon. And 2, you know what? They may have a better chance with Eli Manning this week.
Right, they might. I mean, right, you're talking about Cam. I mean, so Jones is the leading rusher, right? So Devontae's got an ankle. I don't know what his story is. I think he's questionable, but he's got an ankle thing going on. And, so, right, Tampa's defense, I mean, they're 3rd overall, they're number 1 against the run. So if they're going to load up the box and stop Jones from running, he's going to have to try and throw that ball quick, because they're going to be coming at him from all angles. Number 45 on the Bucks, what's that kid's name? White or oh my God, he was in the backfield the other night nonstop. He was so quick to the ball, quick to the tackles, and I think it's going to be a long night for the Giants. They're 31st. The Giants are 31st in points and yards per game against Tampa's defense, who's 3rd overall and number 1 against the run. I mean, so what happens when you put those two together? I mean, come on. I mean, we all, And so Godwin's out, so there's a plus, right? So he's got one less weapon to play with. But and we traded Golden, Marcus Golden away to Arizona. So we lost one guy. There's a couple other guys on the block, Zeidler from the offensive line, and then Golden Tate, but I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to hope they're competitive because the reality of it is, they've been in competitive games. Steelers 26-16, lost by 10. Bears, they lost by 4. Rams, they lost by 8. Cowboys, 3 points. It's every game has been close. Washington, Cowboys, Eagles, a combined, 5, 6, 7 points over the last 3 games. So they do hang around in there. And I think Judge knows Brady, right? Judge is going to want to go after Brady. And what's the points on this game? Isn't this like another dozen or something?
10 should be a lot.
10.5.
Yeah, it should be a lot.
Really? That's it? 10.5?
10.5 right now. Yeah, but that argument doesn't hold much weight when you played Dallas, Washington, and Philly, and you lost by 5
right.
points.
Yeah. But hey, the Rams, the Bears. They're not. Did you see the game the other night? The Bear-Ram game. Both offensive lines were in the backfield all game. Yeah. These guys were unbelievable, and yet the Giants played both teams and were in both games, which is really unbelievable when you think about it. Right? They didn't get blown out by either one. And so here comes another great defense, probably better than both of those against the Giants. And we're playing in the Meadowlands, so we'll see what happens. Sometimes there's ghosts in the Meadowlands, just like in the Yankee Stadium.
It grabbed Daniel Jones by the ankle.
Yeah, that's right. He tripped him.
So
that wasn't a Giants
Stadium.
Stadium.
The saving graces for the Giants this week is Godwin not playing.
Right.
I don't even think Mike Evans is playing.
Right, so,
I think Mike Evans is out. So now, AB is AB playing? Because supposedly he's looked great at practice, so he's not.
He can't play this week. He can't play till next week, I believe.
So now you get a huge dose of Gronk. You're going to have a huge dose of Scotty Miller.
If he doesn't, he comes up lame a lot too. So both of them.
Yeah, Jones has been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
In the backfield. So I don't think Tampa's going to kill him. I truly don't. But I think it's going to be closer than we all think. I do think they cover the 10 though. I truly do because of Tampa's defense. They're playing better and better each week. Who did they just trade for too? They just traded for somebody.
Tampa did.
Yeah, gosh, who is it? I'll take a look here in a minute, but I thought it was somebody on the D line. They got Steve
McClendon from the Jets.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So they're trying to shore up the defense, and Fournette's not back yet. I know Fournette's not back yet, but Jones is looking really friggin' good.
So they're trying to shore up the defense, who's already third. What do you think? Third overall?
Well, I think they're trying to give themselves some depth too. They didn't start out third. You know what I mean? They're slowly climbing into being a top tier D, and I just think that whole team is getting better and better every week. I think offensively, I don't know if we'll see it this weekend, only because they are missing. Two of the top 15 wide receivers in the NFL are both going to be out. I'm not too sure the depth chart here. I'll take a look real quick, but I'll tell you what, that's a tough D. And Brady, 18 touchdowns. 4 interceptions right now. He's not making a lot of mistakes. Right. Actually, it's showing Mike Evans is playing. I didn't think he was though.
Yeah, I didn't think he was out, but I think he hasn't
really been playing.
Right. Well,
true, but it shows him being healthy right now.
Yeah.
So
he's just not doing anything.
Right.
So we'll see.
So
John, Brady is for gun.
I've told you this for years while we were up stationed together. Is Gronk is a big dumb animal, and then I'm looking at this stuff as we're talking. Did you see his quote?
No.
Rob Gronkowski explains how he drizzles like syrup when making plays. He said, "It must be maple syrup because butter don't drizzle like that." What is
he is
that?
Something else. I'll tell you what.
He's a big dumb animal. He's like Shaq. He really is. Like, you listen to the two of them talk, and it's just like, duh, football catches hands. You're like, no, it doesn't, Gronk. Hands catch the football. He's just like, he's so stupid. He's filthy rich and he's good with his money, which good for him. He's got good advisors. But
you see him try and do a comedy. You see him on stage doing that comedy show that time where he had the mic, and it was unwatchable. It was unwatchable. I don't even know what the hell he was trying to do. He thought he had a career in comedy, maybe. I don't know.
No, you can't let him talk or dance.
No.
He's just
but I will say, you bring up Gronk. He's hitting Gronk strides. I mean, he's. We were talking about it at work today with Tyler too, and we were like, so maybe it was a plan, like the first 4 or 5 weeks and stuff. Leave him in the block, let him build up his strength, and now look at him. I mean, he's looking really good.
Yeah.
I mean, last 2 games, good luck with him.
No, he's throwing a tight ball. And for Brady's throwing a tight spiral, throwing hard, being accurate. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. There's no doubt. It's almost like he's probably better than most quarterbacks in the league right now, right? I mean, he's up at the top. I mean, he's a legend, as old as he is. Was he 43 now? And he's still doing a job. It's unbelievable. And actually, they said he's close to having a record now of most sacks in a career. So I think the record's 530 something, and I think Elway had it. Then Favre got the record, and now Roethlisberger and not Manning, not Eli, Brady. Brady's the next 2 on the list. So I mean, you think about getting hit or sacked 500 times in your career. I mean, 43 years old, and I mean, his body's taken on or absorbed a lot of hits, a lot of damage, and still he's in there and he's still doing a job. So you got to give him credit.
Yeah. But surprisingly, looking at some stats real quick, he's 6th in yards, but he's 22nd in completion percentage.
Yes,
which is kind of shocking. Just barely above Kirk Cousins, and one actually tied with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Kirk Cousins has a 64.6% completion rate. Tom Brady has a 65.7% completion rate. Patrick Mahomes also has a 65.7% completion rate.
Well, didn't Giselle say that one time? What does Brady have to catch the ball to? Because the receivers weren't. Is he supposed to throw it and then run and catch it too? What else do you want this guy to do?
And Daniel Jones is at 61.9%, so not
right there.
Not too much different.
They're neck and neck.
Let's not compare the two too much now.
Neck and neck, right here.
Yeah.
Comparisons, touchdown.
Championships? No.
Right. So I don't even see Daniel Jones on this one.
But so you're saying you're laying the points. You think it's gonna be a close game, not gonna be a blowout, but they're not gonna they're gonna cover the spread.
Well, now if Mike Evans plays and they have Gronk and they have Miller, I think it's totally different then, because him and Mike Evans are right on sync at the goal line. And I can't remember if it was us talking about it where Mike Evans had 2 catches for 2 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that could happen. I think if Mike Evans plays and they have him in there, I think it may be a blowout. I don't know. But I think if him and Godwin are both out, it's hard to call it a blowout because now, okay, let's shut down Gronk. Let's shut down the slot receiver. But I will say that's what Brady's used to having anyways. He's never had those big wideouts on the outside. So he has a good slot, a good tight end.
You still got Antonio Brown too. Just added.
Not this week.
Not this week though, right?
He can't play this
eligible?
week. No, next week.
Oh,
okay.
Well, you guys lucked out.
See,
I thought he was.
I
thought it was just 5 days that he had to be on.
He's suspended. He's
practicing with. That's why I was kind of surprised. I didn't think. I mean, he's already practicing. So
I thought he was.
I don't know how that works.
Suspended for 6 games. I thought he was.
It said he's eligible after week 8.
Oh well, that works out great for you guys.
Yeah,
but think about when he starts playing. If he lasts the season, dear God.
Yeah, if they're all healthy together, that's going to be a problem.
8-game suspension. I thought it was a 6-game suspension. He's on an 8-game. Yeah,
and him and Brady get along. Him and Brady get along. For
and
whatever reason,
if he's smart enough to just shut the fuck up and play football, like stop making it about you all the time and just go out there and be ridiculously talented.
Right.
It's crazy, but
Right.
yeah, I can't see how the Giants win this game, which maybe they'll prove us wrong. That would be.
I like
That
when
would be
you say
something
that, because
good.
you've been taking the Giants,
I know,
and
when
then
I
we
take the
lose.
Giants,
So
it's over.
go the other way. Go the
Yeah,
other way.
which I need the Giants to win. That one game is too close to the number one pick. So I need that second W to pop in there. So
Let me see something here. I want to look up something.
Brady's
real quick.
4-1 versus the Giants. Is that what you're looking up? He's 2-0 in the Meadowlands against the Giants in the regular season. Is that what you want to know?
Something a lot more important than that, Jim. Something a lot more
But
important.
in the Super Bowl,
what could be more
0-2.
important?
So what could be more important is, as I look at the our pro football pick'em that we've been doing,
That little thing.
I see that I'm still at the leaderboard with 69 points. Joe, you're right behind with 66.
Yeah, I had an awesome week.
Jim, what's the name of your team again?
I told you I forgot to make my picks one week. That's why I'm so far behind.
I know, but what's the name of it?
What's the name of it? Wrecking Crew.
Yeah. Wrecking Crew.
As in
No,
big blue Wrecking Crew.
Why aren't you
you're
showing up?
You're Murderer's Row, right?
Oh,
Murderer's
that's right.
Row.
And the other one,
Yeah.
I'm Wrecking Crew. Yeah.
Yeah, wrong sport.
So yes, you did
I missed the
fall
week.
short for the week.
Yeah.
But your winning percentage is 54, which is lower than Tom Brady's passing accuracy. I just wanted to point that out.
Okay. Hey, at least I'm being compared to Brady, so that's good.
Hey, I got to give you that respect. You got to beat him twice in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, that I don't mean any disrespect by that,
Yeah.
but I also did want to point out to the viewers, which I hope there's thousands of them.
Speaking of,
that
make
right-
your pick because the game starts soon. If you haven't,
My pick?
no,
what
game?
On the app in the game. Did you
What
make
game
your pick
starts
for
then?
tonight?
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
Oh, today's Wednesday. I'm sorry. Well, make your pick anyway.
Yeah.
So I already did, I think, didn't I?
I
I
can't
didn't
see
make
it.
my picks yet. No.
Yeah.
I think I did.
All right.
Jim, go in and make your picks tonight.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about why you're 10th out of 9 because you forgot to make your
10th out
picks
of
again.
9.
Okay,
Oh.
but I'm going Tampa Bay covering the spread, whether or not. So the only way I think it's going to be a blowout is if Mike Evans plays. That's going to be. Other than that, yeah. I mean, it may be within 10. The Giants seem to cling around.
Take the points. Take the
absolutely.
points.
Over whatever the over is, do it.
Yeah.
Because Tampa's probably going to put up some points.
I'm gonna echo that. Simple and easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be easy. So what are you going? Giants? You stick
Giants
with
and the points.
Whew. Okay.
Stop betting your
I
heart.
bleed
Jim.
Giants blue. What can I tell you?
Yeah, but stop betting your heart.
What?
Your heart's telling you that they're not going to win. But for whatever reason,
We'll see Monday night.
Well,
when that signal goes from your heart to your brain, the words come out all jumbled and scrambled.
Yep. We'll see what happens on Monday.
we'll see. We'll be back to recap it.
Mhm.
We sure will.
And hopefully, well, it's probably going to be 3 losses, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll have plenty to
never
vent
know.
about, but hopefully it's 3 good games to watch and it's entertaining. And we've got all something to look forward to as we move forward here. But I guess that should wrap it up.
Mhm.
Like I said, we'll be back either probably Monday night to do the recap show, or well, probably have to be Tuesday. Whatever. Keep an eye out for when we're going live.
We'll let you know.
Obviously, we'll put it up. So please again subscribe to the channel, comment, like the post, like the video, help us gain some traction. It's very hard to do. So without you guys, we're just talking to each other, which I still, please, fellas, I love having these fireside chats with you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do during the week, but please join in with us and enjoy it. So, so until then, for John, for Jim, I'm Joe. See you guys next time.